Become a patron at www.patreon.com/Golden Era Bookworm for hard to find books, scans of rare photos, and articles on the golden era of bodybuilding. Hi everybody, Golden Era Bookworm here. Today I'd like to share George Hackenshmidt's Home Workout, which consists of exercises without weights. Ideally, this exercise routine is for all walks of life, from the young novice to the old, and is one that George Hackenschmidt recommended for those that are weak and sick, or for those that wish to regain some health and fitness. I thought it was an opportune time to share such a workout, as it will help to tone the body without overexerting it. The home workout routine targets the weaker areas of the body, in particular the joints and muscles of the neck and shoulder, the core, the hips and lower back, and the legs, ankles and feet, and consists of 14 exercises covering these areas. Therefore, it is not a bodybuilding course, but more of a health boosting and body strengthening course. And I'd also would like to state that this course comes directly from George Hackenschmidt's classic book, The Way to Live. And the routine should be performed daily, and if that's not possible, at least several times a week. Enjoy! The first exercise given in this routine is a neck resistance exercise, and it's performed standing, where you clasp the hands behind the head and actually press the head forward. I initially thought that you had to clasp the hands in front of the head and press your head forward towards your chin, but no, you actually have to clasp the hands behind your head. Then you repeat in the opposite direction. That is, again, you clasp the hands behind the head, and this time you press the head backwards. Again, with both exercises, you want to resist the hand pressure. That's very, very important. Now, because this routine is not essentially a bodybuilding routine, but one that will improve your health, especially for those that are weak, elderly, or sick, only a small amount of repetitions are recommended. Now, if anybody is trying this who is already athletically gifted or already is an athlete themselves, of course you can increase the repetitions that are recommended. But for those that are just starting out and wish to try this, whether you're weak, sick, or an elderly person, 5 reps is more than enough to start with every day, and then you can increase the reps gradually. Now, the second exercise given is simply a neck roll, where you again perform the exercise standing and you roll your head around in a circular motion. 10 reps clockwise is sufficient to start off with, and then you want to repeat the exercise in an anti-clockwise fashion. So performing now the neck roll in an anti-clockwise fashion. So 10 reps clockwise, 10 reps anti-clockwise, and you want to gradually increase the repetitions week by week to 20 repetitions. The third exercise given in the routine is actually circling the shoulders. But again, with most of these exercises, they're not supposed to be performed in a fast manner. You want to perform this exercise standing with the arms bent at 90 degrees, and you can clearly see this in the diagram here. The upper arm is by the sides of the body. Again, the arms are bent at 90 degrees, and you have your hands clenched in a fist. And doing so, you want to roll and circle the shoulders very slowly, up, forward, down, and back. And as you do that, you're going to start feeling the shoulders burning, especially if you do it very, very slowly and with deliberately applying force, especially into your shoulders. So believe it or not, this is quite a very good exercise for shoulder mobility and also for exercising the shoulder muscles, because you are moving the shoulder in all directions. The fourth exercise given in this particular exercise course is the 3-way deltoid raise, again performed standing with the arms stretched out in front, as shown in the diagram here, with palms facing in. You want to bring the arms back forcefully in line with the shoulders, as if you're performing, I guess, the opposite movement to a dumbbell fly. So you want to bring the arms back forcefully in line with the shoulders, and this is going to work the rear deltoids. Then you want to raise the arms out to the sides and above your head. with the palms facing the front. And this is going to actually work the side delt. So bringing the arms out from the side up over your head. Then you want to bring the arms back down towards the thighs as if you're lowering your arms after doing a front raise. But then you're going to bring the arms overhead again in a front raise with the palms facing each other, which is going to hit the front deltoid region. As you can see, this is why exactly the exercise is called a three-way deltoid raise, because it targets all the heads of the deltoid. You're going to hit the rear delt by moving the arms to the sides and back. Then you're going to hit the side delts by bringing the arms overhead. Then as you bring them down and then up again, you're going to hit the front delts. And then you finally come down to the starting position with the arms held outstretched in front of you once again. And you repeat this for a full minute. As George Hackenshmidt's says, it doesn't just target the shoulders, but it really does help with chest expansion. The next exercise given is called the Hackenschmidt's star squat. At least that's what I've called it. You stand with the right leg crossed over the left, both arms crossed over the chest, and you clasp your shoulders with your hands. You want to jump out and come down to a squat position as shown clearly in the diagram, while throwing your arms all the way back with hands open and having the arms in line with the shoulders. You want to jump squat, then back to the start position where you have yourself standing with legs crossed and arms crossed again. And you want to repeat this exercise for 20 repetitions, alternating the crossing of the legs and arms. The next exercise given is called waist circling. And you want to start with your feet close together standing and hands stretched overhead. And then you want to swing the trunk around in a circular motion as shown in the diagram. You want to swing from the hips only. And as you can see clearly in the diagram, the athlete is swinging firstly to the right, then forward, left, and back, at least as much as you can, and trying to keep the upper body aligned with the arms. Performing 5 to 10 repetitions in each direction, gradually increasing the reps. And I do have to warn you with this particular exercise, it is rather strainful for the lower back, so please do take it easy with this particular exercise. The next exercise given is also very challenging, and it's called the single-legged forward bend, where you stand with your feet together, arms stretched overhead, and you bend forward, simultaneously lifting one leg towards the rear, whilst trying to keep your arms straight and stretched. It does require some balance, and the aim is to basically try and have a straight line. Imagine having a straight line forming between your extended heel and your hands that are extended to the front. To help with balance, you can bend the standing leg, and then once you've done that particular movement, you want to return to the start position and switch legs and repeat with the other leg. You want to initially perform, again, if you're only just starting out and really have been out of action for a while, you only want to repeat this about 5 reps with each side. Again, it's up to your own discretion how many repetitions you do, but if you are starting out, start lightly, do 5 reps each side, and increase gradually week by week until you get to 20 repetitions. That would be ideal. The next exercise is the toe touch to hyperextension. It's the only way to really explain it. I think it's a good explanation too for the name, because you want to stand with your feet apart, arms stretched overhead with the palms facing. That's the starting position. You want to bend forward at the hip and try and touch your toes. Once you do, keeping the legs straight, you want to swing back up with the power of your posterior chain and hyperextend. And then you want to repeat the exercise for a minimum of 5 reps, increasing again the reps gradually over the weeks until you reach about 20 repetitions. Again, because it does work the lower back, be very, very careful with these kinds of exercises. They are supposed to improve your strength in your lower back, posterior chain, legs, and your mobility in these areas too. But do be careful with these exercises. Now the next exercise given is the leg raise, a very familiar exercise that works the lower abdominals. You want to lie down, for example, on a gym mat or carpet or whatever, have your legs straight, and you can see that the athlete here has his hands clasped behind his head. You can also have your hands underneath your buttocks, whatever is more comfortable. And keeping the legs straight, you want to lift the legs up until they are 90 degrees to your upper body and then bring them down slowly. Again, if you're only just starting an exercise routine out, 5 reps is more than enough, and build that up slowly with time. The next exercise given is the sit-up. Again, a very, very familiar exercise which works this time the upper abdominals. You want to lie down on a gym mat or a carpet, and bending at the hips, you want to rise to a sitting position, keeping the legs straight. You may need to also stretch the arms forward to kind of help you up. You may also need to actually hook your feet under furniture. That may also provide enough resistance for your feet to pull back against to actually bring you up. You also may need to do this exercise with your knees bent at first. Ideally, you want to repeat the exercise at least 5 times in the very beginning and increase gradually over time. The cross step lunge is next. Standing with the legs crossed, hands on the hips, you want to sweep. This is a bit difficult to explain, but just imagine this. Sweep the front leg, which is crossed over. Let's say you have your right leg crossed over your left leg. You want to sweep that front right leg right around the left leg towards the rear and towards the side. And as you do so, you want to squat down to a lunge position. So you should have, in this case, your now left leg as the forward leg, and the right leg which swept around as the rear leg and extended. Then you want to return the rear right leg back to the front, and then you want to change your legs and repeat the motion again. It is rather complicated to explain, but very simple once you get it. Again, you can start off by performing 5 reps in each direction and gradually increase the repetitions over the week and over the weeks until you're doing 25 reps in each direction. Now the next exercise is probably one of the best exercises you can ever do for your legs, and is probably as old as time, really. It's the deep knee bend. You want to start off with standing with your heels together and your feet flaring out slightly and your arms extended out to the sides, as shown clearly here in the dotted diagram of the athlete. Bending at the knees, you want to squat down onto the ball of your feet whilst elevating your heels. So this does require some synchronous movements. It is rather complicated and does require some balance. And you do want to ideally bring your butt all the way down to the bottom. That's why it's called ass to grass, right? You want to try and squat down to your heels if possible. And once you're down in the squat, you want to press off the ball of your feet and press back up to the starting position. For those that find this very, very difficult, I know there's, if you're elderly or weak, only start off with some, a very small amount of reps. We're talking 3 repetitions is more than enough, and increase this over time. Those, of course, that are more advanced can perform this for much more repetitions. It's an excellent leg developer. On your mark, plank runs, which is the next exercise, I think is a very complicated exercise, very challenging, definitely. You want to get into what's called an on your mark position. Imagine you're going to, sprint for the Olympic 50-meter dash, right? And you got to, the person with the whistle says on your mark, right? That's basically how you want to set yourself up. You want to have your arms extended onto the floor, touching the floor, hands, clearly on the floor, because you have to hold yourself up with the pressure of your arms. And you want to have one leg extended behind you whilst the front leg is bent, clearly shown in this diagram. And pushing off one foot at a time, you want to alternate your feet rapidly. So basically, it's kind of like running in a plank position, hence why it's called an on your mark plank run. And it's very similar to the plank run, except that you're not, you don't have your body so low to the ground. Your butt is kind of a little bit higher than a plank run. You want to, again, support your body weight with your hands, and you want to try and do initially as many as 15 reps each side. It's going to really target your core muscles, your ab muscles, your whole body really. Ideally, that's going to mean a total of 30 repetitions, and you do want to increase this over time to 30 to 40 reps on each leg, which is going to total to 60 to 80 reps in total, which is a very, very challenging exercise, as I said earlier. So we finally come to the end of this workout, and that is the last exercise now, the Turkish one arm push off the wall. Very, very clearly demonstrated here by the athletes in these diagrams. You want to stand between 1 and 1.5 meters off the wall, and you want to be leaning actually against the wall. So really you want to have your full body weight on your extended right arm with your hand holding you in place. And your body should be slightly turned. So for example, if you have your full weight on your right hand, you want to have your body slightly turned to the left. You want to push off your right arm and alternate, and then land basically, land on the wall with your left arm extended, and then push again and alternate from left to right, and repeat until tired, gradually increasing the time that you do this exercise. It could be that you start off doing just 30 seconds the first day, and then you want to increase it to a couple of minutes or something like that. It's a very, very good exercise for strengthening the upper body and joints associated with the upper body musculature. Now, if you are interested in purchasing The Way to Live in Health and Physical Fitness by George Hackenschmidt, it is available on my website as an ebook, and it's also available on Bill Hinburn's website, superstrengthtraining.com, where you can get it as a paperback. So I do hope you've enjoyed watching this video. This home workout is given by George Hackenschmidt in his classic book, The Way to Live. I have to admit that for many it might seem like a very mild routine, but for those for which it is targeted, that is especially those that are just starting out, those that are weak, the elderly, the sick, I think it's an excellent exercise, especially for stimulating health and fitness in such people. Also, it's very important to understand George Hackenschmidt's mission, especially when you read The Way to Live. The Way to Live is very much like Eugene Sandow's book, Strength and How to Obtain It. The courses that are given are mainly to increase the health, the longevity, and the standard of health and life really for the person, for the practitioner who will undertake these courses. They are not necessarily made for creating strongmen. There are, of course, programs that are given, especially in George Hackenschmidt's book, as well as Eugene Sandow's, for strongmen. There are exercises for athletes and for those that wish to pursue the development of more Herculean-like strength, to really become strongmen. Of course, these aspects are also covered, but this particular routine, I need to stress, is mainly for the general populace to improve the tone of the muscles, the strength of the joints and bones, and of course to develop a bit of musculature, basically for, as I mentioned earlier, for health and fitness. I do hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't to the Golden Era Bookworm, leave me your comments, and thank you for watching. If you'd like to support my research, please donate via PayPal, become a patron. You can visit my website www.goldenerabookworm.com for out-of-print books and courses on old school bodybuilding, physical culture, etc. And finally, you can also contact me via email if you wish to collaborate or if you wish to pass on your bodybuilding literature and relics. That's it for me. Hope you've enjoyed the video. This is the Golden Era Bookworm. Bye for now. To take full advantage of my collaboration with Old School Labs, please visit their website and choose from their marvelous range of supplements using my code BOOKWORM12. And for an entertaining look at the history of bodybuilding's supplement industry, I would highly recommend watching Subs the Movie, which I have collaborated in, available at Amazon Prime and Vimeo.